Um, so I wanted to do something a little different today. Something I haven't done in about a year, which is go over my gear, bars. um, but yeah, I a year ago did a live stream on my bug out bag, and originally I was gonna do a long form video, and I because I didn't have the setup that I wanted to do the a long form video. Basically, you know all the little video editing and stuff that I wanted to do. I figured, well, just do a live stream. And my wife convinced me to do that as well. So that's what I did, and I liked it. It wasn't a huge turnout, but people did watch. And as a follow up, my wife did uh she live streamed with me and showed her hiking backpack. And it was pretty similar to like the things that I would equip in my bug out bag, just minus some of the tactical things. So I also showed a little bit of my EDC gear. and I said back then I would eventually just do a separate video on my EDC everyday carry items that I use. And so I actually did that back long. I actually did that like 10 months ago, believe it or not. I actually did a video like 10 months ago, late December, early June. I mean, sorry, early January. And I turned it into a friend at the time who was a moderator and had did a little bit of video editing for me behind the scenes. Shout out to Miss Needle. But she had some health concerns and time constraints, so she never got around to editing the video that I gave her a rough copy of. So she eventually gave it back to me and just said, "Hey, you could just keep it basic, just do a little bit of video editing here and there, and it's really no problem." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I thought, maybe Mrs. Contrarian, my wife, could help on that because she is a bit savvy with video editing as well. Maybe not as much as Miss Needle, but it it by the time I got the video back from Miss Needle, it was like 4 months after I had already made the video. And once I got it back from her and I was figuring out how I wanted to edit it, my EDC had already changed. And I was even asking her, I was like, should I add that to the video or should I was like, or just make a separate video as an update? Or she was like, well, you can add that to it. But in the time since is so much difference in the original video and the way my EDC is now that I was like, well, I may as well just make a whole new video. So I ended up deleting the original footage, and so I was going to shoot a new video. Then I thought, well, wait, I did a bug out bag as a live stream, so why not do this as a live stream? Why not show my everyday carry items as a live stream? So that's what I'm going to do today. But I'm trying to wait until folks come in to the stream. Let me make sure on my end that I remember to make this thing uh, public because sometimes I am unfortunately a miss on that. So let me make sure on my end that this is a live. I saw a person jump in, and so I'm not sure, but it is showing that I am public because I do remember switch keep making sure that I had it as public. So good stuff. Um, so I'm gonna wait till a few people come into the stream. If no one does, I will at worst shut this down and then make a turn it end up making my EDC content into a long form video. But that's only, if I don't get folks coming into the stream. But I am, but I have everything here rearing to go. So just waiting to see if folks are gonna come in. If not, I'm, you know, no sweat to me. If people don't come in, I'm just gonna go do a midnight run. I mean, no, I mean literally a midnight run. Not like that's not like slang. Like I'm gonna go hang out or something. Like I'm actually gonna go run. So, so we'll see. And that's just because I've had some caffeine, so I need to exercise that out of my system, literally. So if I'm not going to use it to stay up, being a chatterbox, then I need to go and work it off with some cardio. But I'm surprised. Usually, I do get folks coming into the stream. Maybe I take some folks off about talking about Dave Ramsey. Nah, that's not it. Looking at my analytics, so that wouldn't be the cause. Um, I honestly don't know, but like I said, I'll give it a few minutes. Wait, it's already been 7. Wow, I did not I did not realize I've been chatting for that long. Um, actually, instead of no, I think I will go ahead and just do the content even if the chat room isn't present, just because I can replay this and use it as a long form video in 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 well, I would say in situ of a long form video. I can use this once I put it on replay. For you folks bad at Latin, that just means in place of. But I did wanted to give it like, a fair couple of minutes for people to come in and watch it with me in real time. But instead of me going ahead and shutting down the live and then making it a long form and then just um, producing a long form video on a separate day, I can just do it here. It because it would the long form video would basically be the same thing. It would just be me talking to myself and then publishing the video for people to watch later. So pretty much the same thing. And I think people would, even if people don't watch this live, I think people would be genuinely interested in seeing my everyday carry stuff. Sorry, there's no guns. There's no guns though, so sorry if that would disappoint people. And even if I do have even if I did have a concealed carry, again, I'm not putting that on video because that's a quick way to get demonetized. and I know people have said in the past, they've said it on my bug out bag stream and on other streams. They was like, well, a bunch of other people uh put guns in their videos and they're not demonetized. It's like, first of all, you don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, most of those videos are demonetized. They still get money because they have brand deals and sponsorships with some of those companies of which they're showing those weapons, and they're getting direct contributions from their audience and members of their channel. That's different. That's still not the same as being monetized. You will still get your channel demonetized for showing weapons. All other things being equal, unless your channel is literally a weapons channel. And even still, I think those aren't monetized. Again, I think they they have um, they have brand deals with those weapon makers and others in the 2A space, and they get funding through their members and people who contribute to their channel. I don't have any of those, so that won't be happening. So I will not be showing any firearms on a video or live stream. So sorry. Didn't do it for my bug out bag. Won't be doing it for my EDC either. Like I said, there's plenty of channels for that though, for people who like that sort of stuff. Plenty of them. I watch them myself, and that's how I know that they get their money through brand deals and stuff like that, not through their through that through those videos actually being monetized, which is a separate thing. All right. Um, so as I look live at the stream analytics as I'm currently doing this, it shows that I'm public. Everyone can see this video. It is being monetized. There's no restrictions. I'm live. Like you guys are watching me in real time, whoever's here. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my stuff. And if people, don't aren't able to watch this in real time, then they can watch it on replay. But at least people will know that I have done this. So when people say, "Well, why don't you show your EDC?" I'll point back to this very video and say, "Well, I've actually done that." And also, I'm going to link my older video with my bug out bag on here as well for people uh, who who might want to see the interesting connections between the two, which they will definitely see if they watch both my bug out bag video and this. And I might link also the my wife's stream with collaboration with me when she showed her stuff, her pause, her backpack, her hiking backpack. So with no further ado, I'm so I'm gonna keep it very simple. So the first thing is just my fitted cap, guys. The, the cap is, strategic. For one, it keeps people from mistaking me for a younger guy because of my size. I'm slim, and from a distance, I have a younger face. If you don't see the grays, so people might sometimes mistake me for someone in their late teens, early 20s. So wearing something like this conveys older adult. Okay, and it's a little patriotic. I like my little flag hat here. So that's one thing. Okay. And don't worry, I'm probably going to switch the camera up in a little bit so I can more easily show some of my stuff for my EDC. All right. And this, like, it won't be in any particular order, just like with my bug out bag string. What I'm going to do is just show everything from top to bottom as I take things out of my sling bag, which will be shown shortly. So, like I said, first thing is my hat. I mean, obviously, it gives a bit of cover, um, bit of that gray man ordeal, right? So, and again, I wear it in a way that portrays someone who's doesn't really want to be fucked with. So that's the first thing. All right. Next is my watch. I have a simple Calcio calculator watch. And it's simply just no particular reason other than I simply like it. I wanted one as a kid back when I was like 7, 8 years old. I'll say about eight, around, yeah, around when I was 8 or 9. I saw these in the stores like Sears and places like that. And I was like, I wanted one, and I never got one. So I got what like I got my first one about 9 years ago, um, 8 years ago, and and I've bought multiple ones since, where I've replaced the bands. This is like my second or third one. Um, then I added a little watch band compass to it. So it went from just being a little nerdy watch to something that's tactical. So first you have the watch simply, and that just helps me tell time. Uh, you Simple things are very useful when it comes to thinking of like everyday carry and tactical simple things like this. Plus, not only that, being a calculator watch, it actually does calculations. It has a stopwatch function and some other basic functions that will help you, say, like land navigation, like or other certain things. But like the calculator aspect of it is very useful. Very useful. Okay. Um, Third are just my reading glasses. My eyes aren't what they used to be, and I do need to go see a optometrist. But until then, I've just got some, straight out of the drugstore non-prescription reading glasses. Again, very simple stuff, but very useful. If you can't read like fine print, that's gonna be hard in like an emergency. Like say if you need to read something that's like a medical sort of thing, right? So the next thing we're gonna get into, I think, is what people want to see the most, which is um, my EDC sling bag. So here it is. This is where I switch the camera, guys. So give me a moment. So here's my EDC bag, a little EDC sling bag. I again got a little patriotic flag right here. Um, and right on the side, you notice I have some hand sanitizer. Now, one thing to notice, well, to note when it comes to like tactical, is that things should be multifunctional. So not only is this good as a hand sanitizer, but you can use it to obviously cleanse surfaces, dirty surfaces you come in contact with, aside from just your hands. And it also makes a flammable substance. Okay. Flammable substance, yes. Um, I hope that's, I mean, obviously, probably won't have to use that too often, but yeah, it happens. I'm gonna open up all my stuff here. Um, but I'm gonna start with the big pocket and then go to the little pocket. So let me open up all of these. Okay. And I'll start with the large pocket first. So with the big pocket, the first thing you're gonna see on top is a cat tourniquet. Okay. I live in Baltimore, and there's a high likelihood in Baltimore you can get shot for no reason or people around you. So a cat tourniquet, very easy to apply with one hand. Like you can literally use like if you get a shot on in the hand or whatever. I mean in the arm or leg or something like that. You can apply this with one hand. It's very simple to use, and I kept the instructions on here in case I have to give to someone else, in case I need to be banded, a tourniquet applied, and for some reason I can't use either of my arm, or someone needs to use it or whatever. So I do keep the instructions right here in case, because I have to assume that I may have it on me, but I may not be in a position to apply it myself. So I would tell someone, look at the instructions so you can do it. Although I would hope that they can apply it as quickly as possible, and I would assist them in doing so, obviously. But it doesn't hurt to keep the instructions. So that's on here. So cat tourniquet, that's the first thing you're gonna see. Um, Second thing is a charger, and it's both for my phone and for some other or for other rechargeable devices. Um, I haven't mentioned it, but obviously my phone is going to be a part of my EDC as well. But I'm currently using the phone to show you this stuff, so just keep it in mind that the phone is also one of the items. Okay. Um, I have some surgical masks in case I need to apply this. Ever since the pandemic, it's just been sensible to keep a face mask handy. And again, if you live somewhere smoggy like Baltimore, some people don't know that about Baltimore. It is one of the smoggiest cities on the East Coast, and as a result, there are a lot of people in the city who have they have problem certain breathing problems. Okay, there's a lot of people with asthma and other sorts of issues. And so, like I said, with rechargeable devices, one thing I keep is a power bank. Put my little alum, alma mater sticker on here. This was very cheap that I got in the Philippines, and this can charge a whole laptop. Okay, and with that is a cord, um, you know, to connect from the device to the power bank. Um, Here's something fun you guys probably wouldn't expect. My batarangs. I've shown this before, but these are like actual metal batarangs from the Dark Knight trilogy era. They're actually mini so they're actually uh, throwing blades, shuriken. Um, and no, I don't plan on doing any Batman esque type stuff, but basically it can be used to cut things. Okay. Or if I really needed to use it as a weapon, I could throw it at someone as a distraction, which is what shuriken are mainly used for. Shuriken aren't really used to hurt people. They use for either like digging, cutting, or being thrown sort of as like distractions. They're not really like you see in movies being thrown into people's face and stuff like that, because more than likely it's going to be hard to hit a moving target with these things. But yeah, but yes. Um, Next thing, very useful, which should be in every EDC besides a cat tourniquet, is a first aid kit. So just a little simple, cheap first aid kit. Nothing special. Okay, it's still in the packet, um, and in the packing, which is rough. Cut open a little bit, but I still haven't opened it up yet. Pause. Have some disinfectant wipes again. So just like with the hand sanitizer, if I need to disinfect stuff, I can use this as well as besides this hand sanitizer. Always think when it comes to tactical, one is none, two is one. So good to keep in mind, right? Here is my monocle. This is or so-called spyglass. It works similar to basically like binoculars, but it's a monocular, or also called a spyglass. Okay, very useful. And I have the accessories to this as well in here. Um, there's a tripod stand that comes with it. And there is an attachment that you can use to attach the monocular to your phone. Okay. So if you want to do some some nerdy stuff like looking at stars and other sorts of things, you can attach that. Plus, you can also do like some navigational things if you want to attach this to your phone with this accessory. Alrighty. Also have this thing right here. It's a bookmark, but also it is a magnifying glass and a miniature ruler uh, and straight edge. So it has a little, again, measurement you can take on it and a straight edge in case you need to, you know, plot a straight line. And it's a magnifier. So you, again, bad eyes. So sometimes I need to look at something in fine print with magnifier. Say if I, let's say I forgot those glasses. If I don't have those glasses, I can still use this. On top of not having the glasses, both the reading glasses and this can be also used to produce maybe a spark if I need to start a fire for some reason or other. Um, Now let's get into the second pocket. So I have this insect repellent band. Might come in handy if I'm in a field or somewhere where I'm swamped with bugs, particularly you know, mosquitoes and stuff like that. I have some wet wipes or baby wipes in case I have to wipe my tushy or I need to wipe my hands off and I ran out of sanitizer, or I need to wipe a surface off. Again, very useful. Also, wet these wet wipes again can be turned into flammable material in case I need to keep a fire going for some reason or other. Always people so when you're in an urban environment, sometimes easy to forget how important it is for basic things like fire, water, and shelter. But gotta keep those in mind. Plus, like I said, it's just useful for your tushy because you might be somewhere where you have to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, there's no toilet tissue in that stall. So the only thing keeping you from walking around with mud butt for the rest of the day is the fact that you pack some baby wipes on you. Pretty sure women know this lesson well. Men, not so much, but very useful. More medical stuff. I have some gauze pads in case I need to, stamp up a wound again. And I'm sure some of these are in my first aid kit right here. But it doesn't hurt to have some more gauze pads, right? And on that note of gauze pads, I have a few, uh, alcohol prep pads in case I need to cleanse. Before I stomp a wound, I might need to cleanse a wound for whatever reason, or a cut or scrape, whatever like that. So got a few of these little alcohol prep pads. So 3 or 4 of these, yeah. Uh, and I know I'm and get into some more tactical stuff here. So I have some. These goes by multiple names: crop dusters, knuckle, uh, brass knuckles, whatever. Now I want to first of all, hashtag not legal advice, but make sure these are legal to carry in your state. Okay. Second, and I'm not going to say whether they are or not in Maryland. They're not. But in Baltimore, I'm more concerned about my security than legality. But that is a personal choice. What I will say is because neither the mayor nor the governor give a shit about the citizens of Baltimore's safety, you got to care for your own. And also, if you do, again, not legal advice, if you do use these, don't be trying to just knock someone out. That's not how these work. When you use these, let me switch. I'm going to switch back to first person view here. When you use these, you're not doing wild haymakers or anything like that. It's just simple bop, 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 bop jabs. This will just cut someone's face so badly. They're now if they're keyed up on some sort of substance, it's not gonna it, it's not gonna um, come to them that they their face is looking like lunch meat. But if someone's sober, yeah, they're gonna understand their face is getting turned into lunch meat. And again, it's not through wild haymakers. People who do use knuck, brass knuckles like that don't know what they're doing, and they're gonna end up breaking their hand. You simply just jab, 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 or you can rake them with like this, rake, 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 or you can jab, but you don't sit there and try to wind back with some crazy haymakers or some straight cross. That's not how you use these. All right. Next is a flashlight stun gun. Flashlight's very, very useful. You may not even ever have to use a um, the stun gun part. Uh, Thank you. How do I say your name? Is it Ariako? Correct me if I mispronounced it, but thank you for subbing. I appreciate it, Elias. Seriously. Um, yeah. So you can flash this, and it will. There's a lot of light in here, but if this is at nighttime, it's gonna temper. It's gonna blind you for a few seconds, giving you enough time to and then run away. Or I'm not gonna run away. After I then I'm gonna go into my hand to hand. But if you don't have any hand to hand skills, you can again hit them with the light, the little zip, and then dip and run. Assuming you can run. If not, you better have some hand to hand skills. Or you may have some follow up items, which I'm going to get into in a second. These are not everything I have here, obviously. Also, this has a siren on it right here. So, of course, I've told my wife to have a a flashlight stun gun is very useful. But good stuff. And don't forget, stun guns and tasers are not the same thing. Stun guns are usually legal in most states. Tasers are not. Usually, tasers are only allowed to, you know, law enforcement and security, or military, whatever, personal bodyguards, stuff like that. Because tasers actually shoot out prongs, like you see right here. These little prongs. They usually shoot out the prongs to someone, and then it emits, some high voltage to temporarily incapacitate the person. But people do have different tolerances of that. So some people it won't affect, and others it will affect very badly. It depends. It's very uh, idiosyncratic. So it may work on some people, may not work on others. That's just the honest truth. Okay. All right. Getting to the third pocket, I'm gonna switch back to the sling bag, guys. All right. So getting to the third pocket, I have a nice little permanent marker. Again, thinking of land navigation and all that sort of stuff. Maybe I need to mark stuff down. So permanent marker. Also have a pen for the same reason, but this is not just a regular pen. It is a hold up. See if I can hold this down. Um, sorry about that. Try not to drop the camera as I do this, guys. Sorry about that. This messiness. But it's also a pen. I mean, also a little blade. So, ouch. It is a little sharp. I've I've taken this to Thailand with me. It was like the only weapon I had in Thailand, and I actually ended up possibly needing it because there was this guy when I was in Bangkok. I went to 7-Eleven, which was like 2 blocks away from my hotel. This is during my honeymoon because I bought my wife and I some snacks from 7-Eleven instead of uh, eating the snacks that come with the hotel because they charge you a grip for that. So I'm like, I'll just get some stuff from 7-Eleven. Plus, 7-Eleven in Thailand is dope anyway. All right, it really is. 7-Eleven across the world is really dope, especially in East Asia. So, when this guy kept saying, "Hey, can you help me, buddy?" He kept grabbing on me, being very touchy feely, and I'm like, no, no, thanks. Um, I gotta go. And he kept insisting on grabbing on me. So eventually, I pulled this out of my pocket, and I unsheathed the little tiny blade within it and held it in my hand because he kept being grabby. And there was an alley near where we were. I was afraid he was going to try to grab me and pull me up into the alley. So I pulled the blade out, and I was like, all right, as soon as he tries to get a little rough, I'm gonna stab him with everything I got with this. Lucky it didn't get to that that point because I shoved him off of me. He took the hint. Next is a balisong, aka butterfly knife. This isn't the authentic Filipino one. These are one of the ones, usually made in China. So here we go. So these are useful. They are mostly used for utility, but obviously they can be used as a weapon. I've sharpened this to make sure it's sharp. And now I'm not gonna do well. Yeah, I can do the fancy flip. What's up, Moonlit? You upgraded the your username like that. So you know, okay. For people who want to see the little fancy flip, but no one really does that when they're using. They just flip it up and flip it back. So Balisong is one of my favorite blades. Even though it was always the bad guys in the movies that used them, they were always the coolest weapon. How to be a mod? Consistency. People who are always on my live streams and contribute thoughtfully to the chat room and have shown to be level-headed. That takes time to gain that trust. And again, guys, I'm very cleanly, so I keep stuff on me. So, so just like I have the hand sanitizer and the baby wipes and the disinfectant wipes, I keep a little travel toothbrush. Okay, a little travel toothbrush and travel size dental floss. And people remember my bug out bag. I kept also floss and toothbrush and toothpaste in that too. I just used the larger size. I used the larger size ones. Of course, a little tiny little toothpaste in case I need to freshen up. This is the little backing to the little flag right here in case I need to take it off and whatever. Like if I'm somewhere where people aren't very patriotic, I might want to take the flag off so I can blend. So being a gray man isn't about looking a certain way. Being a gray man means basically blending into your environment, which means if you're a bunch, if you're around a bunch of uh, American hating liberals and progressives, then you might not want to carry the flag, and I might not want to wear this hat. But um, you need to know your environment. So I keep that on me in case I need to take the flag off, and then I can put it back on later. This is a fire starter. I have one also in my bug out bag. So again, if I need to make a fire, this is the flint and the little metal rod here. You strike them together, it causes a spark, which can you can use to start a fire, which is why it's called a fire starter. So here you go. Um, I have a signal mirror. So this can go on your, this can also go on your cell phone. It has a little tape adhesive that you can put this on the back of your phone or a similar device. And again, the signal mirror is very useful. Um, that's for simple. Again, it can just be for cosmetic reasons. You simply want to check to make sure you don't have any boogers in your nose, you don't have any broccoli in your teeth, right? So it could be as simple as that. Or you might need to signal for rescue. Or again, you can use this the use of sunlight with the mirror, as with the magnifier or or my reading glasses, to start a fire. Fire, 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 fire. So stop. Again, lighter. So you might, more than likely you'll just go like, more likely than not you'll just go reach for your big lighter instead of the instead of using a flint, the little flint and steel or fire starter. Melissa said flint and steel is a must. Yes, sir. Um, what else is in here? Chapstick. Again, guys, I'm cleanly. I don't like chap lips. My lady likes my soft lips on her. Also, chapstick, because it's kind of similar. It's similar to paraffin wax on it, used by candles. It can be used again as what? Say it with me. A flammable device. Yes, 10 points for you. So, um, rubber band just in case I need it for whatever. Like, in the army, they kept we would have little rubber bands, strong, a little bit stronger than the cheap ones you get in the store, called Ranger bands, because you can use these to for like tying up when you're like tying up things or whatever. So just have one. Should probably put some. I'll probably put some more in there. Um, Again, this is a attachment for my chargers and my electronic devices. Charge things up. I this actually I think goes to charging up my stun gun. This would charge up my stun gun, but the other ones I can use the other one as well that goes to my my power my my power charger. Moses W Ranger bands for bags of chips and small boxes. LOL. Right. Uh, I also have, like, why has he got hair clips? Yes, I have hair clips. Do you know why I have hair clips? Do you know what some people use hair clips for? They can open handcuffs. Yes. I'm not, so this is not for the criminals out there. This is for people who have been legitimately apprehended. I mean, for people who have been apprehended under suspect motives. Say you're in a foreign country and you're being held by corrupt police, or say you are here and you've been kidnapped by someone and put in handcuffs, you can use these to get you out of those handcuffs. Again, this is not for criminals to evade the law. This is for law-abiding people who have been illegally apprehended either by corrupt police in, say, a foreign land, or by people who mean to traffic or kidnap you or do something else not so nice to you. They might be on some Fleece Johnson's type stuff. If you don't know who Fleece Johnson is, don't look him up. You don't want to know. um, and this is just my little rubber wedding band for my finger. Um, I have my regular wedding band here, but if if I go to the gym or if I go to the range, I'm going to wear this instead of my regular wedding band because I don't want to thread my finger. If you never heard of threading your finger, definitely do not look it up. It is very gory. Threading the finger just basically means the metal tears the skin off your ring finger. Not a good idea. Okay. But sometimes I'll just leave my metal wedding band on and I'll just put on some weight gloves if I'm at the gym. I usually just wear weight gloves so I don't have to worry about my ring threading my finger. And if I'm at the range, again, I can use maybe a ring. I mean, sorry, some utility gloves. But usually I don't wear utility gloves at the firing range. I would probably just put on the rubber wedding band to be safe. Uh, Melissa says looking, locking. Hold on, let me put on my. I might have to put on the very glasses I was just talking about here. Which again, this is why I would keep my reading glasses part of my EDC. But he says locking, fishing hook, small blade sharpener, electric conductor, add leaf and still water, makeshift, not so accurate compasses. You came on before I showed the watch band compass, but for my mod here, so I add this little watch band compass to my watch here. This is the time where I'm currently at right now, guys. Melissa, oh, dude, that's my trigger. Threaded fingers or toes, I get heebie-jeebies. Yeah, I know it's nasty. That's why I was telling the audience whether they're watching this live or if they watch this on replay. If they don't know what a threaded finger is, do not look it up. If they are squeamish, I would not recommend it. So now I'm gonna get into my other EDC here, guys. The stuff that's not in my bag. Okay. So I got another chapstick. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to switch this back to first person. And boom, there goes the dynamite. So we got another chapstick. Okay. Uh, Again, tactical. Remember, one is none, two is one. That one goes in my EDC sling bag. This one goes in my pocket. These are so the things I just showed were in my sling bag. So these are the things that's going to be actually carried on my person in my pockets. So one would be another chapstick. All right. Um, my Batman fidget spinner. I know it's not too. I'm clumsy because this is my left hand. I usually spin it with my right. That's how I. Never, stop. I was gonna say something stupid. I'm not. No. But yeah. So see, I'm better with it on the right. um. Next is my tactical pen, guys. Get a tactical pen. You can use these can be taken anywhere. They're a lot of EDC items sometimes are not things you can take with you into government buildings, into amusement parks, or to ball games, or when you travel, like um, like through the airport through TSA. You can take one of these through the airport. Not now. Don't take this version of a tactical pen because unfortunately the glass breaker tip is exposed on here, so I wouldn't take this. I would put this in my luggage. I wouldn't have this tactical pen on me. This is not going to be TSA approved because the glass tip is exposed. The glass breaker tip is. Um, what's up, Eric? He said, "What do you have for the IFAC?" Oh, I sorry you missed. So he's one of my he's one of my loyal subs. So I'm going to re-show him. And so I was saying, Eric. So I got my first aid, right? And I was saying, so this is my EDC sling bag. Sorry. And what I was saying, E, was the first thing that's at the very top of my sling bag is my cat tourniquet. So the very first thing that will be at the top of my sling bag is my cat tourniquet, because that's going that's going to be one of the most clutch things you can have in a sling in your EDC bag in case of emergency. You need to get directly to that. Like, say you are shot, you're not going to be able to rummage through your bag trying to get at the tourniquet. You want that right at the top so you can instantly pop that out. Just like with my bug out bag, my cat tourniquet is actually in a separate pouch outside of the backpack itself. That way I can instantly access it. I'm not going to be trying to be digging through my bug out bag for the cat tourniquet. Is right held on a tactical pouch on one of the straps. If you I don't know if you remember, if you watched my bug out bag stream, but if you did, you'll remember that I had a tactical pouch on one of the uh, back straps, right, on one of the shoulder straps, and it had my EDC right there. That way I can directly take that out. So this is the same thing. I have it directly at the top of my sling bag. And just like with my bug out bag, I also keep the instructions just in case I'm not the one using it, because I can't assume that I will be the one using it or I'll be in the position to use it. So I have the current tourniquet at the top of my sling bag in a tactical pouch in my bug out bag. I keep the instructions in case someone else needs to access and learn how to apply it quickly. Of course, I was hope that I'm in a position where I can, if I'm the one hit, that I can explain to them how to apply it. But just in case they can't, just in case I'm incapacitated for whatever reason, I keep the instructions on it so that they can apply it. As far as my other health stuff, I keep a few um, masks, right? Like I said, I keep some wet wipes. I keep some disinfectant wipes. Um, I keep some alcohol swabs, and I keep some gauze pads. All right. Actually, I just stocked up on chest seals too. Good stuff. Let me get back to my the stuff that goes in my pocket. So, like I said, for my pocket, um, there will be another chapstick, a little, and this is just for fun. Batman's uh, fidget spinner, just because I wanted one. A tactical pen, which you can take anywhere, except this isn't TSA approved. I'm going to show you another one. So I have a backup tactical pen, a pocket pouch. Yeah, I've heard of pocket pouches, definitely. So this is my backup tactical pen. This one is TSA approved. As you can see, there is a glass breaker tip, except see this top comes unscrewed. Might have to hold this down while I show you guys this. Um, hold up here. Um, sorry, I'm gonna have to place this down. So, uh, there we go. So with this, I can unscrew the top, and it makes it easier to actually write with, because it's light. Once you take the top off, it's lighter, and the top can be put over the glass tip, the glass breaker tip. And that makes it TSA approved, and you can screw that on to the other end, and that covers off the glass breaker tip, which makes it TSA approved. On top of that, this pen holds other stuff. You can take the pen piece off. Sorry, wrong end. You take this. We take the pen piece off to switch it off with the glass breaker tip. But the glass breaker tip also can be reversed for a multifunction piece right here. Right? And not only that, guys, this is also a tactical flashlight. Tactical flashlight. So remember, you can swap these out. So glass breaker tip, multifunctional piece. Again, you can screw these in and off. Pause. And again, once you take the top off, it's easy to write with. What is the pen called? The ANKAKA, Ankaka. I got it from AGOA Buyers. AGOA Buyers. Very good deal on it, by the way. Very, very, very affordable. It's called Ankaka, ANKAKA. And it's by AGOA Buyers. I really like their tactical supplies that they sell. They're the same people I got this hat from. So the same people I got this hat is the same people I bought this from. This is very cool. And again, this is a TSA approved tactical pen / tactical flashlight. Next pocket EDC is my, again, just tactical flashlight. Now this is going to give a stronger light than the other tactical flashlight, and it also has a hardened beveled edge right here that you can zip someone, then bop them, and it extends. So very good. You can use a strobe effect to make people disoriented. Both of these flashlights have the strobe effect on them, which is an important utilization of tactical flashlights, is the strobe effect to disorient someone. And next, everyone should have one of these. And again, the tactical pen and the tactical flashlight are something you can take everywhere. You can take them in the airport, okay? You can take them to ball games. You can take them into government buildings, okay? And you can take them into amusement parks because they're not weapons technically. As long as you don't get something that looks too aggressive like this, because of the glass breaker tip, I would take this most to put pretty much anywhere else other than the airport. This is not going to get through TSA because of the glass breaker tip, but the other one will, because you can unscrew this and cover up the glass breaker tip. See the difference? So one you want to put in your luggage, the other one you can carry on you. This is the one you can carry on you. It will be TSA approved. Of course, this is not TSA approved. This is just a U.S. Army pocket knife. And again, this probably wouldn't be used as a weapon for me. This would be just to cut things open, or in an emergency, I can cut, like, say in a car crash, you need something strong enough that can cut off the emergency seatbelt. Like if someone's stuck in their seat, you might need to cut them out of that seat. That's the purpose of something like a pocket knife. or most people just use them. Let's be honest, most people just use their pocket knives as like letter openers and stuff like that, or to cut open a package they got at the store, and it has in those little um, tight little sealed bubbles that you can only cut open. So that's usually what I'm gonna use the pocket knife for. This is not going to be a first line of defense for me, but it can be used as such. As you can see, it is tactical, but more than likely, I'm just going to use this for an emergency, say to cut something, like, in place of having combat shears, because some people would keep combat shears in their sling bag, but in place of the combat shears, I have these. Okay. Again, another mask, but this is a cloth mask that's washable. The other ones are disposables. I have like 100 of those disposable surgical masks, so I keep 2 of those in my EDC sling bag. But this is something I will keep in my pocket. This washable cloth mask, and this wouldn't be for like really like pandemic type stuff. This would be like if to keep from coming into something dirty, or if I have a cold or a flu. So that's what I would keep this for. And again, it's washable, so you can reuse them. But I have a pack of 10 of these, so if I had, eventually I'll have to throw this away, and I'll just have one of my 9 other ones. A lot of people are already familiar with this, but I have pocket toys, so I don't just have the fidget spinner here. I also have my little pocket toys, which are my 2 favorite vintage action figures. I have my 1989 vintage Batman with the and I have my 1989 Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker the Jedi Knight version of him, my favorite version of Luke. Some people's favorite version of Luke is the farm boy Luke from the first movie. Some is the Bespin uniform Luke of him in Empire Strikes Back. Mine is Return of the Jedi, because Return of the Jedi was the first Star Wars film that I actually saw in the movie theaters. Like, I was 5 years old when I saw it, and it was my favorite. It's still one of my favorite movies ever. Not my favorite Star Wars movie, but one of my favorite movies, period. And Jedi Knight Luke was my favorite. So these are my 2 little pocket toys. I keep them in this little bag to keep them from getting like messed up when they're carried in my pocket with my other stuff. Eric says I had to pet Batman as a kid. Michael Keaton Batman had the best action figures. Yeah, man. I have, you already know I have like 8 of these, right? I have like 4 of these loose and like 4 of these mental and card. Wait, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's a 8. I think there's an 8th one, but I have like 7 or 8 of these, both loose and mental and card. And something I recently acquired, my Spy and Survival playing cards. I know the wording is reversed because of the camera. Sorry about that. But it says Spy and Briefing Card. Former CIA Jason Hansen reveals Spy and Survival secrets that could save your life. It's a Spy and Survival briefing life-saving strategies from former CIA and Special Operations personnel. And you can buy these at www.spybriefinggear.com. I'm not sponsored by them, but I figure I could just give them a free shout out. Who knows, maybe one day Jason Hansen will give me a brand deal. I would love that. Seriously. Jason Hansen, if you're watching, or if any of your people are watching, holla at me. My email's there. But the thing of it is, guys, I'm not an expert when it comes to all this EDC stuff. I'm not an expert survivalist. unlike people like David Canterbury, check out his YouTube channel. He actually teaches a course on prepping and survivalism that he calls the Pathfinder School, not to be confused with the Army Pathfinders, uh, but he teaches a yeah he has a survivalism school he calls Pathfinder School. He is a former vet as well, and I believe former law enforcement. Um, and so he is an expert. Jason Hansen is an expert, being a former CIA case officer. Um, and there are many people on YouTube that are survivalist experts. There's the gray bearded. Another great YouTube channel that I really like is this guy called the Gray Bearded Green Beret. He's both a former Green Beret and a former Ranger. Okay. There's another guy who has a great channel who was a former Marine grunt. I can't remember his name. Then there's another guy, but it's a bunch of those guys in that sphere. If you're interested in survivalism, prepping, um, military type stuff. Again, I'm not an expert. I am a veteran, but my MOS was 31 Lima, which meant I was a cable and telephone wire system specialist and maintainer. So basically, I was glorified. I was a glorified telephone person, telephone cable man, who also did tactical and strategic stuff in the field. We were like the first line of. We were like the very. We were at the very beginning level of signal intelligence. So we didn't just also do telephone and cable maintenance and setups. We also did a little bit of signal intelligence type stuff. Very, very, very basic stuff dealing with like decryption and encryption signals. Um, but so like I'm no expert in dealing with all sorts of emergencies. So I keep these because I believe this would be something that could keep me informed of in many different emergency situations. So you don't know, like, although I said in the beginning of the video, like one of my first EDC items is obviously my cell phone. But what if we're in a situation where there's no, there's no signal, so the phone becomes useless, or the grid is down in a really like bad scenario. That probably won't happen. The grid goes down, but it's possible. But what is more likely is you might be in a situation where there's no internet signal and you can't use the phone, or say your phone, even with your with your power bank, either that's broken or it's not, or you've used all of your power bank and your phone went down. So what do you have to look up information for, like how to deal with emergency? Now I have an Army handbook, but I keep that in my bug out bag. That's mostly because that would be in a situation where it's a longer term scenario. The bug out bag is made for like a 72-hour situation. The sling bag is used for like something that's going to be like a matter of hours or a day. And within that, but a lot of things can happen within just an hour. Huge crises can arise within an hour. So what do you have in the meantime? These. So that's what happened. Okay. And get to my last. So I have a few other things left. That's not it yet. That's what she said. But I have a few more things. Just a few. Um, so I no longer carry a wallet because wallets take up a lot of space in your pocket and they can make you feel unbalanced when you're sitting down. So I no longer do that. So now I just keep my cards on me and I just wrap them up in a hair and little hair bands wrapped around them. So obviously I have my important stuff covered up so people can't see it. But behind this would be like my, driver's license, personal ID, and then I also have my debit card, credit card, um, my my health my health insurance card. This at the top is a library card, but I have both my mental and dental insurance cards right here. And my voter's registration card. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Debit cards, credit card, personal ID, voter registration, mental and dental. Excuse me, dental and medical insurance. That's pretty much basics. I have a paracord bracelet, University of Maryland, Fear Turtles. What's up? Uh, but it's it doesn't come off as tactical, which is great. The thing about tactical, you don't want to look tactical. This is tactical without looking tactical. This is sold by the University of Maryland, but a paracord obviously can be used for a bevy of uses. So don't really have to get into all that, but understand that you know, 550 paracord can be used for multiple things, from tying things up, um, to securing items, whatever. So good to have a little bit of paracord on you. Cordage is cordage is always useful. Eric says I ditched my wallet too. I use a pocket pouch to hold my cards and multi tools and shears. Surprisingly slim and not bulgy. Yep, I've seen those. Those are good things. Very useful. And yeah, like I said, the wallet was like I loved having a big bulky wallet back in the day. But I don't want to look like George Costanza going into the and it's like 2025. It's like, nah. Now, I have not. That doesn't mean I don't have any wallet. I do have a wallet, but all right. Let me take that out. Pause. um. So I've shown this before. If I can find it, maybe I can't. May not be able to find it here, guys. But sorry, I know that probably had the video all the way up on my face. I'm pretty, but not that pretty. um, see if I can find this for you. If not, so what I have is what's called a. Here it is. Now this is something I will. Now this EDC item I don't keep on me because it's only something I would have overseas. But I have what's called a throwaway wallet. The throwaway wallet is for like pickpockets. Unfortunately, I love the Philippines. I love Philippine people, but there are a lot of pickpockets within the cities like Angeles and Manila, and they might try you. So I keep a throwaway wallet, and I even have some discontinued cards. I have some discontinued debit card here from Charles Schwab, and this is safe. This does not have my name or anything identifiable on it here, so don't try. I have another discontinued debit cards. Okay, and I have some fake money in it. From a distance, this looks like real. This looks real, doesn't it? It looks real, but it's fake. Now, again, this is not for criminal use, guys. This is fake money, not to not to be, this is not counterfeit money, it's fake. This is like fake kid money, not to be used to fraudulently buy stuff. That is a felony that will get you locked up here or abroad. Again, this wallet is only for me overseas. This fake money is that so that when a pickpocket takes my wallet and sees the stuff, they think they've gotten access to my real debit cards and to some real cash. Okay. Meanwhile, my real cash will be on my person on the inside of my clothes. That's where I will keep my cash, my real cash, in a money clip. I don't have the money clip here though, unfortunately. My wife did not send it to me, but she had bought me a Batman money clip um, a few years ago, but I left it in the Philippines, so I don't have it on me. But yeah, the so I have these discontinued debit cards and that fake money, and that would be used as a throwaway wallet if I'm overseas for pickpockets. Um, Also, another thing, part of my EDC that I'll have on me, but only when I'm overseas, not here in America, would be my a little dummy phone. I mean, this would be a real working phone. Don't get me wrong. But this would be like um, something. So if I don't want to be tracked, I would use this instead of this phone that I'm currently using. I would use my I would use my little throwaway phone here. What they call it? My little burner phone. So this is my burner phone. So again, this is what I would keep with me only overseas. I don't use burner phones here. But this would be my burner phone overseas, just like this would be my little throwaway wallet for pickpockets overseas. Okay, so those will be my two overseas EDC: burner phone and throwaway wallet. Um, Now my last item is my student ID uh, case. Since I from college, I have two of these. I have one of these in my college book bag, and I have this one to actually keep. This actually does have my. Oops, let me cover my name up here. This actually has my name on it, um, and inside I could keep some say cash on me. There's none in here right now, so don't be pocket watching. It's like I'm playing, but no, I might keep some cash in here, but that's a more multi-purpose item. So I have my Swiss Army knife. It has multi-functions. It has tweezers. Okay, these are tweezers, toothpick, um, miniature scissors. Let me put this down again. I'll make it easy. Well, Eric says that does look real. I know the cash does look real. I got that from my niece. She was throwing it away, and I started throwing it away. Let me get that. So I took that from my niece. But yeah, again, since I was a Cub Scout, I wanted basically the same time that I wanted my Casio calculator watch. It's the same time when I was a Cub Scout, and I always wanted a Swiss Army knife. I wanted one of those really big ones. Pause. But I have a big multi-purpose tool now, so I don't need both the big Swiss Army knife and the big multi-purpose tool. So I just have the smaller one, the keychain size one. So it has again toothpick, tweezers, little mini scissors, uh, a little nail file, and screwdriver. Just like the little multi-tool piece that goes on my tactical pen slash flashlight, the little multi-tool piece that I can swap out the glass breaker tip for. And of course, it has a little miniature blade, which I might use to like cut open a letter or something. This is not going to be used as a weapon. I don't think anywhere outside of somewhere crazy like Singapore and Japan would someone consider something like this remotely being a weapon this tiny. But since they are used to tiny things in those East Asian countries, maybe it could be seen as a threat. Take that joke for what as you will. But that is the end of my EDC. Unless anyone has any questions about that. But that is I believe all. Yeah, let me look around. That is all of my EDC. I mean, there is one other thing, but this is when I go jogging. I keep my pepper spray on me and key. So this is my EDC as I go jogging was my pepper spray because most of the other things I tend to get wet because I'm very sweaty when I run. So I don't want to keep my stun. I used to keep my stun gun on me, but I was worried that I might affect a shock from it because I get very sweaty, or I would short it out. Not so much, yeah, not so much. I would get a shock from it, but I might short it out with my sweat. Similarly, I don't want to carry my knife on me because it's going to get rusty. If I because I did that before. I used to carry. I had another um, pocket knife I used to carry on me when I ran, and I got rusted. So I don't carry a blade on me when I run anymore because they tend to rust from all the sweat from my running. So this will be the last piece of my EDC, but this is for when I run. Um, so that is it, guys. That's all. I hope people enjoyed it. I will edit this for replay. So, but that's it. Since there's only one person here, I don't think I'm going to have much questions. But if anyone has any questions, they can leave it in the comment section, and I'll answer those questions in the comment section as long as they're not anything goofy. But that's it. I hope people like my EDC layout. If not, it's my EDC. Get your own. Take care.